All right, hey guys, welcome to Stock Talk on September 6th. We're in looking at the chart of let's take a look at the S&P 500, and there's really a lot of interesting trends to talk about right now because a lot of things are changing rather rapidly. And so the first thing you guys want to notice is here is the support area at 287.81, which we've talked about several times in past videos, and you guys can see how every day we've been making really a tail candle and that the bullish sentiment is rather high. And that, in my opinion, is getting me a little concerned. So you might be asking, well, Kevin, why weren't you concerned in the past? Why are you concerned now? Well, there's a couple of trends that I'm watching right now. One of which is that we're at the support. Sure, we held the near-term support, but right now, I still don't see a definitive sign of a reversal. And that is just slightly more worrisome. Notice that we have another support that I've drawn in at around 285.80. That would be the next area of a possible reversal if that occurs. Today, we didn't close under the support level, sure, but I'm seeing potential that we can close below that level. And that, in my opinion, is getting more and more bearish as we're looking at through these charts. Note that we do have a higher high line and that we do have a higher low line, and this is the red line, situated at around $280. I'm not saying that it's going to get down there next week, but what I'm saying right now is the bearish tone is being set, and there could be that probable leg down in the near future. Why? Well, the reason was I talked about it yesterday was after this tail candle was made yesterday, I was looking for some sort of rebound today, but in fact, we had another sell-off. And that, in my mind, is certainly not very positive for the markets. So I'm going to take you guys to volatility, or TVIX, and this is showing the bearish sentiment once again. This is confirming that there are possible future leg downs within the market. We're looking at the yearly chart of volatility, and you guys can see today we finally managed to close over the 20-period moving average, and this looks like, from this trend at least, that volatility is going to continue to go up at the very least for the tomorrow at least. That's what it shows me from the chart right now, and I need you guys to grasp what is going on because we're seeing a lot of red in the markets and something is going on. We have the tech stocks selling off significantly, the FANG stocks selling off significantly the past few days. Something is going on in the markets, and you guys can see how money is being shifted around. That is a problem if this is occurring right now. So I want to take you guys to 4/CL Crude Oil Futures. I am doing this video a little early just to give you guys an opportunity, I guess, to watch these videos and see, what to expect in the near future, because I am shifting my tone, as you guys can hear, from a bullish case to a more bearish case now. So, that's that, and I just want to give you guys my, my thoughts on this. Here's crude oil futures, and crude oil is really, in my opinion, a harder chart to grasp, a harder chart to play with. You might be thinking, well, Kevin, you talked about this resistance, we got rejected. Couldn't I go into inverse crude oil, or the ticker DWT? The answer is sure, you could have, but one other question was, at what point would you get in, and at what point would you be satisfied with your profits? Those are questions for you to answer. You guys can see today we did push lower at one point to 67, around 67.25, but then we did recover back slightly to back to $68. Regardless, this is something, I guess, for you guys to watch as well, but you just got to be very cautious in the crude oil market, right? In the short term, we're coming down, but in the long term, it's really a question mark. We could reverse at any point, at some point, but right now, short-term trajectory is down, and just got to be careful if you're in crude oil. These charts aren't very easy to grasp at the moment. So also, one more thing, if you guys do like these videos, of course, you've heard this many times before, please hit the thumbs up button. I really like all of your comments, and if you guys could hit the like button on the video if you enjoyed it. I would really highly appreciate it as well. So thank you so much for all of your support as always. Let's take a look at 4/NG or natural gas futures. And natural gas, remember, our natural gas analysis really hasn't changed, and it hasn't changed for the past few days. What did we say? We set a possible support around 2.746. Which way are we going? We're going towards 2.746. So the ticker that you would have been in or interested in would have been DGAZ or inverse natural gas. Remember, as natural gas goes down, DGAZ or inverse natural gas would go higher. So that is the opportunity to take. And you guys can see how we're getting close to that area. Have we reached to the support area? No. Is there potential for DGAZ to go on higher? Yes. So to show you guys the DGAZ chart right now, you guys can see how inverse natural gas has been continuously moving higher. So that continues to play the trend. So let's take a look at the next ticker or futures chart, which is 4/GC or gold futures. Now, gold futures, I told you guys, isn't really a play. And the reason why we talked about why it wasn't a play is because you guys can see these tail candles that are made. You guys can see that we're pretty much in the middle, right? We have 50%, it could go higher, right? Short term, we're making a high, but long term, who knows what will happen? This is more of a bearish trajectory that is likely to play out to the downside if you just look at the long term. And you guys can see today we yet got another rejection near the 20-period moving average in the resistance area. So it's really, 50-50 in my opinion, and there are better trades to go in my opinion, than a 50-50 trade. So just keep that in mind. So in my opinion, JNUG or JNUG, right, really couldn't be the play. You guys can see once again today we met another low. If you guys watch my stock talks back in April and May, we talked about the ticker DRIP, which was actually crude oil, inverse crude oil. And DRIP kept making lows and lows and lows. And people were thinking, man, this is the low. We're going to guess. Well, they didn't say we're going to guess, but they're going to say, we're going to try to get in because we're going to pinpoint that this is the low finally, and now it's going to go higher. Not necessarily the case, right? You guys can see that JNUG is making a low, and what happened? We're continuously making newer lows. That's something to be cautious about, and therefore gold, in my opinion, I'm not interested in right now. So that's just my opinion. I want to take a look at a couple of your tickers because you guys are making some very nice observations. And these are things that I'm watching as well as you guys are talking about it. So moviegoer, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on Amazon now that it has tumbled a bit? Thank you for your assistance. So let's take a look at Amazon on the yearly chart, and this is really the the correction, in my opinion, that we're looking for. Now, right now, we have the NASDAQ selling off significantly, and we don't really see an end in sight. So while Amazon looks appealing right now, I want you guys to, at the very least, wait for some sort of confirmation that we will move higher or reverse. Now, Amazon, do we have a confirmation right now? No. Are we nearing the area of support? Yes, but we don't have that confirmation just yet. So I would wait for it. This one potentially could recover at 1934, right? We saw this semi-bounce off of that area today or reverse at that area, but it can certainly drop lower. And you guys can imagine Amazon briefly hit the $1 trillion mark, satisfying the goal, and it was earlier this week, right? It satisfied the goal. Apple hit the $1 trillion mark. All the great news items are being sucked up, and now what's left? Well, what's left is, well, we know the trade deal's been made with Mexico and whatnot. The good things are being sucked up, and now the sell-off is commencing. And that's why I just want to place a little caution if you're looking into Amazon as well. All right. Thank you, Kevin. Can you please check again on Micron? MU. Yeah, so MU in this one was doing terribly today. And in my opinion, I can't recommend MU anymore in terms of a ticker to watch for the month. And you guys can see this lower high, and now we're breaking out to the downside. Where did we close today? 44.65. Where was the support? 45.78. Where is the next support? $40. That's a long ways off. Certainly don't want to be in for this ride right now. And since Micron Technology broke the trend, and these are just some of the things that I'm watching in terms of why the markets are significantly selling off, and this is not looking very good, and there's potential for this one to fall even further. And right now, Micron Technology can't recommend it as we've fallen below the support. But thank you. That's a very good observation that you've made that you're calling out right now. So good job. Steven, let's take a look at your comment. What charting platform do you use in my videos? So I use the Think or Swim platform. And then the next question was, I think my second question, wait, hold on. I started to pay attention to the 20-day moving average, when to buy and sell. So the one thing this is taught in depth in my course. But the one advice that I could give you guys is not to rely on a single indicator. You're looking at the 20-day moving average, great, but we rely on many indicators you guys can see on the charts, and therefore just basing your entry and sell points based off one indicator can be dangerous and will likely, in the long term, not help you. So just be careful, and you'll learn a lot more about indicators in the course down in the link in the comment description below. Armin, you're shorting S&P 500. Yeah, so that was it looks like, it's doing you're doing good. I like it. Can we revisit XOP, Jason? Okay, so XOP, so you guys can see this is oil and gas, and now it's falling, right? So XOP, we see a support area around 39.26. So that's the area in which, there could be a potential support, but the one thing you want to be cautious about is we are making these lower highs, right? We weren't even able to hit 43.36 this time. So while this follows oil and gas, I want you guys to, take a look at the crude oil graph as well. In the meantime, this is declining, so can't really go long at it right now. So thank you for your comment on that one. Rizwan, ticker F, Kevin, break it down, please. All right, so you guys can see that what we're reforming in the long term, right? Ford was forming, and this is very pronounced. This is a very pronounced pattern, a bear flag pattern that is now playing out to the downside. What is happening? We're right at the support at around 9.43. Again, I don't draw in these supports after the fact. These have been in here for a very long time, these support areas. And the one thing that you guys want to keep in mind is this is a declining pattern. There's no sign of reversal, and really not something that is investable right now, especially when I feel like the markets are selling off quite a bit. You can imagine Ford is not going to be the one that's going to be moving higher when the markets are selling off. As a matter of fact, I can argue that Ford will, possibly break a very big resistance or support area, which is around $9.41. It could very well break that support area. So just be very cautious with Ford in the near future. All right, Microsoft, is Microsoft a good area to buy right now? And where do I see the next one? So Microsoft is a very solid company. You guys can see even today, while the markets were kind of sloughing off, Microsoft did manage to hold its ground, and you guys can see that the chart looks very nice. So I think if you really wanted to enter into something that is, want to go long on something, you feel that the reversal could be soon, then Microsoft is a solid play, because you guys can see that it's been on a very steady uptrend, holding ground very well. So I think this is a good, area where you could consider. I think we talked about it up here. It really depends on how long you're willing to hold Microsoft. If you're, like I said, if you're willing to hold this months to years, no problem if there's a correction. It can correct all the way to $100 and you'd be fine, because at some point it's going to go over the 108.74 mark and you'll be making money. The question is whether you have the patience for that. So good call out for that one. All right, so before I leave you guys off with today's analysis, I want to take a look at a couple of tickers that we've discussed in past videos, the one of which is IQ. And a lot of you guys have been talking to me about Chinese stocks and whether they're good or whatnot. And I think people are still just absorbed by the fact that we've had an uprun, right? You guys can see we have this uprun within 2 months, and now we're going down significantly. And I've kind of reiterated every single time after we've been selling off, people were trying to find these good buying areas. And I said, people were thinking about the good buying area where? I think I was taking you guys to the 180-day chart. At the 200-period moving average, they were thinking, well, it's a good buying area when we recover here, a good buying area when we recover here. And the whole time I've said my stance was, I don't really like it because there's really no sign of that reversal just yet. We don't have that major confirmation reversal. How did we know that this was a support? It was really hard to identify that this was a support area. So you can imagine I wasn't very keen on entering, or especially if you guys are in IQ, looking into IQ or adding in more into IQ if you're into it, because just this pattern has been actively declining. Another pattern that a lot of you guys were talking about was BABA or Alibaba, right? And we talked about this one yesterday, as a matter of fact, in that it's on a downtrend. As a matter of fact, Alibaba has significant levels to go. We don't see support levels until very far down, and because of this massive uptrend, you guys can see how great of a shorting opportunity, sure, that this one is, but certainly not going long when something is literally declining like a waterfall, right? Will it get up to this level? Maybe at some point, maybe in a few months or a year, but not right now. And therefore, can't really revisit these as we move on forward, in my opinion, in terms of going long on. All right, so those two tickers I just want to point out to you guys. In the meantime, once again, thank you everyone for watching this video. I talked about how this week it's going to be very interesting, and next week, because the volume is picking up and we're seeing some significant changes within the markets, whether it's to the upside or downside. We'll talk about it. But I will see you guys on Sunday for the weekend stock talk, as always. And thank you very much for watching these videos. See you guys later.